Here we go. All right, everyone, welcome. You are now behind the scenes. I love being in the green room. The green room is where the magic happens, and we have right now, we have the authors from Forge Through Fire. I got it. Built God Tough. That's right. Forged by Fire, Built God. Y'all supposed to say tough. Y'all supposed to say tough. Built
Tough.
God Tough. So say hello, everyone. Seriously, say hello to everyone. Everyone wave and say hello. Just wave to the audience. They're out there. They're showing up. And they're like,
Hello,
Shay,
everybody.
what
Hey,
is
Hey,
going
hey.
on? So let's just jump right into it because they want to know what's going on. Heck, I want to know what's going on. So let me jump right over and ask Alicia, in all seriousness, Alicia, like my sister-in-law who's watching right now, probably Alicia. Take a moment, if you would. Tell them your full name. Tell them where you're broadcasting in from. And in all seriousness, for those folks that are ready to change their life, tell them the name of your chapter.
Well, Shay and everyone, my name is Alicia Connerly, and I am from Mississippi, JS, Mississippi, by way of Long Beach, California. And the name of my chapter is When I Learned to Trust the Refiner.
Ooh, okay. Now I love that JS Mississippi. I guess Jackson
Yes.
State. I guess he's doing some prime time, doing some cool stuff down there. But in all seriousness, tell them what's one of the reasons you wrote this chapter. Take a minute or so for folks that are watching. They're thinking, we got some single moms out there, some single dads. We got folks that have worked all day and they're dualpreneurs. And they're thinking, why should I pay attention, Shay? What is her chapter even about?
Well, Shay, the reason why I mentioned also that I am from JS, Mississippi, by way of Long Beach, California, is because that's where my story started. It started April 29th, 1982. That is the day that I was born. And when I learned to trust the refiner, the word trust is capitalized in my chapter just for that reason. Because many times people lose sight that trust, especially for females, begin at birth. And my parents divorced 6 months after I was born.
Mm-hmm.
They were military individuals. And so my paternal grandmother is actually the one who raised me. So when you have been let down, my trust or distrust began at birth when my parents weren't in the position to take care of me. And the
So
one thing,
if I
go
can jump in
ahead.
for a second, because we're gonna get into your story. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all can see the fire. Y'all can see she's ready. She's ready to rock and roll. But I'm gonna jump over to Queen for a moment. And when she hears the word trust, she hears the word trust. I wonder what's going through her mind right now.
yes, because I've heard Alicia's story and I can't wait for this book to come out. But when I hear the word trust, I just think about how we really need to trust the Lord. And that sort of goes with my chapter too. I sort of lost trust with the Lord and I was doing and saying things that I had no business doing. So when I think about trust, I think about just really leaning into the Lord and God, your whole spiritual life, just really leaning into that.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to hear more. I can't wait to hear more. Look, we're going to go over to Sharwanika, who's out there right now, and we're going to ask her to first to tell us her full name. Tell us, of course, she knows the drill, where she's broadcasted in from, and then what is the name of her chapter? I'm sure you all want to know as well.
Hello, Shay. My name is Sean Wanika Pittman. I am from Hammond, Louisiana. Well, Tylertown, Mississippi, but I live in Hammond, Louisiana. And the title of my chapter is "The Fire Made Me Fertile."
The fire made me fertile. Okay, you can't leave us on the edge. I know it's not fair to ask you in the next 60 seconds to kind of give us, a little bit of the story of it, but tell us, why is that so important to you? I love the chapter. I can't wait to hear more.
It's important to me because I'm barren. I'm not able to have kids. And so even though I can't have kids, God has birthed other things inside of me. So I had to give up my will for children, in so many words, for me to have my own, for a will to live and do actually what God has called me to do.
Wow, that's so powerful. Alicia, I know we was just talking to you, but I'd like for you to jump in for a moment. And for the person that's out there that's relating to exactly what Sharwanika is saying right now, what message would you have for them?
The message that I would have is that there are different types of being barren. And you don't have to just be barren with not being able to have a child. You can be barren in spirit, you can be barren in love, you can be barren in peace. So we shouldn't lose sight or being one-dimensional of the word barren, because as you can see from Sharmanika, her barren may have been physical, but the birth of a spiritual awakening of her womb was what came forth. So just because you're barren in one area does not mean you have to be barren in all areas.
I'm feeling it. Thanks so much for sharing. This is great. Ladies, I'll tell you, if you're out there right now, just go hit the share button. I mean, if you're ready to be forged by fire, and if you're ready to be built God tough, then this is your moment. This is your time. They all showed up for one reason and one reason only, and that's to change your life. And I promise you, we get on the other side, they'll change your life if you'll let them. Talise, you're up there smiling. You know the drill by now. You've been getting yourself together. So tell us your full name. Tell us where you're broadcasting in from. And then we want to all hear, what's the name of your what? Chapter.
My name is Talise Caraway, and I'm broadcasting out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The title of my chapter is Through Sickness and Health.
Now, you can't leave us on that. You can't just leave us on the cliff. You can't just say, name of my chapter is through sickness and through health. Give us the Cliff Note version on 60 seconds. Someone is watching right now. Someone is going through some challenges. These are certainly very challenging times. And like, wow, she caught my attention. Why is that chapter so important for her? What would you say?
It's important because when I got married, I was young and caught up in the glamour of the dress. So really didn't understand my vows and the significance of them. But trusting God through sickness and health, I didn't know what all that detailed of. And so when I went through a season with my husband being sick, my faith was tried. I thought I was trusting God. And yes, I found out I really loved my husband, but it was trusting God through sickness and health.
Wow. Sharwanika, as you're listening and you're hearing those words over there and going through sickness and through health, what's on your mind right now? What say you?
I can agree with Talise, even though my husband was the one sick. I was the one that was always sick. So he had to actually learn, hey, I have to put everything down to make sure that, my wife is okay. And sometimes that means I can't always be there for family or other people, because my wife is first, and that's the person who I have to take care of. So it's a big responsibility, but hey, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, and you're up for the challenge, every single one of you. Queen, you're sitting there. I know you're saying, put me in. I know what to do. You're going to ask me my first name. You're going to ask me my last name. I'm going to tell you where I'm from. I don't know if we got someone else from Mississippi. They represent, and they in the building. With everybody else, by the way. I'm in the building. Washington, D.C. is in the building. But Queen, tell us your name, where you're broadcasting in from, and more importantly, what's the name of your chapter? We want to know.
Yes. Well, my name is Deborah Cole, but here in these Dallas, Texas streets, I am known as Queen Cole. So that's what I go by, Queen Cole. That's my brand. That's what I stand by. And the name of my chapter is The Ring of Fire.
Okay.
Ring of Fire.
Okay, tell us a little more. Give us a sneak preview. Don't worry, we got on the other side. I'm going to ask them to tell you more about the chapter, but I know you can't wait because I can't wait. So, Queen, if you can, from the streets over there, can you step out in a little bit and tell us what's this chapter about? Why should we care? Why should we pay attention?
Yes, because when we think about the ring, and I'm referring to a wedding ring. So we think about it as the circle of untrusting love, unconditional love, and in this situation, the ring had me doing some things and saying some things that were maybe not too good.
Why can't we?
So I had to be forged by the fire.
To be what? There's the second part to that.
Build God tough.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what they want to hear. That's why the audience showed up. Someone right now is going through something, and someone right now wants to be built God tough, and they show up to hear this message. All right, Ketrice, you are here in the house. You're in the building. You showed up. Don't look at me like that. Y'all know what I'm doing over here. And so if you can, tell them why this anthology, why now did you have to birth this project? Take a moment for those folks that are hearing about this project for the first time, but they're ready to be forged by fire, and they can't wait to get on the other side to hear about these chapters.
Well, Shay, I had to birth this because God ordained for me to birth this. He had been really dealing with me to do this for quite a while. and I was running from it, and I just was like, I'm not doing it. It's too heavy. I don't want to mishandle your people. And he just kept on after me, and he was like, I'm gonna body slam you after a while if you don't get about what I told you to do. So that's how we talk. He talks to me like that. And so I was like, well, okay, because I don't want to be body slammed by you. I'm gonna say yes to this project. And so I said yes to the project, Forged by Fire, Built God Tough. And he actually gave me the name of the anthology about 2 to 3 years before I even, presented it to the world. It was in a clinic setting with one of my patients. I was a nurse for 20 years, and the patient was talking to me about some things that she was going through. And she was just in a state where she was saying, I can't take anymore. I can't go through anything else. I feel like if I go through anything else, I'm just not going to make it. And I just remember looking at her, and I remember saying, yes, you can go through it. You will withstand it because you are built God tough. And I was like, woo. She said, woo. I said, woo. And I said, hold on a minute. And I always keep a pad so I can jot some stuff down. And I said, wait a minute, let me write this down. And I put it in my notebook, and I just left it there. I never even, went back to that notebook or anything like that. So like in November of last year, God was just on me about doing this. And I said, okay, God, if you want me to do this project, then you're going to have to give me a name for this anthology. And he said, go pick up your notebook. And so I went and got my notebook, and I was just flipping through it. And there it was. There it was, Built God Tough. And I said, but it's got to be something else to go with this Built God Tough. And he said, Forged by Fire, Built God Tough. And when he said that to me, it was just like, wow, this is huge. And that's when I was like, God, I'm not doing this because this is big. It's too big. I can't handle it, and I'm not going to do it. But I ended up doing it. And I met not met, because some of these ladies I knew previously, but the relationships that have been forged since we began this anthology is amazing. And the transformations that have taken place already are absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
God is really showing out big time with this project. And the book ain't even out yet.
Well, the book is on its way. We'll be talking about Built God Tough, but first you got to be forged through the fire. For everyone that's out there watching, we're going to get started right now. For Latrice is out there, for Karen down there in Houston, Texas, thanks for joining. My man Andre up in New York, appreciate you. Pamela Conley is out there watching. Robin Scott that's out there watching. Yolanda Jerry, she's in the building. What's up, Yolanda? So many folks that all tune in right now. We've got a show. We got to get ready. I can't wait. We got to get ready in 5. It's my favorite part. 4, I can't wait. 3, you don't want to miss it. 2 and 1, and we got a show, ladies and gentlemen. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. Yeah.
Thank you. God bless. Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to start off almost every episode sharing the 3 visions that I have that you may have as well. I believe first you have a vision for yourself. There's a certain food that you want to eat. There's a certain home that you want to be in. I like air conditioning, by the way. It really cools me down. There's a certain lifestyle that you want. Maybe some of you want to drive a certain car, and it takes revenue to purchase those resources to make it a reality. And then others of you out there, I believe that you have a second vision. I believe you have a vision for those that you love the most, your loved ones that are out there. Mother dear is still alive. Thank God. She's 73 years old, 15 minutes down the road. I get a chance to hang out with her. Nothing like her getting really good at ordering on Amazon. You know, my card's connected to that. But that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. She's good at that. Others of you want to send your kids to a school of your choice. It takes some revenue and some resources. Others of you want to write a check for someone's health care insurance, or you want to write a check for a cause that you believe in. And to do that, it takes revenue. It takes resources to make that a reality. And I believe the third vision you have is you have a vision for all those people out there that you were born, you were called to serve. And I want you to imagine for a moment, I like to use the analogy of Noah in the Bible, and you don't have to be a believer, although I am a believer, by the way, but imagine Noah in the Bible, and imagine that he had this vision given to him by God, he had this experience given to him by God, and imagine he decides right before he gets going, there's a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. Someone says, Shorty! They did say Shorty back in the day, by the way. I want you to know that. There's no hammers in the house. And Noah says, no hammers, no big deal. I'm not worried about that. Someone says, over here, they say, yo! They did say yo back in the day, just so you know that. What's going on? There's no nails either. No hammer, no nails. Rule number one, I never panic. And someone's back and back saying, Noah, me, Noah, look, back here. What? Oh, and he's like, what's going on? He says, no, I hate to tell you, but there's no wood and there's no people to put this boat together. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right now. You got what it takes, but it's time for you to be built God tough. It's time for you to be forged through the fire. And the lady showed up, and a few gentlemen like myself, for one reason and one reason only, and that is to help you achieve what you want right now based on the lessons that they have. So with that being said, let me say hello. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited. Couldn't wait. It's time for folks to be forged by fire, built God trust. Built God tough. If you're out there right now and you're ready to get going, you can look right below the video, and just put forged by fire, built God tough. Just put that down there. Forged by fire, built God what?
Tough.
Oh, see, they're right on cue. They're right on cue. There's no cue cards. They're right on cue. Don't y'all love that? All right, let's jump into it. Alicia, we were in the green room, and some folks weren't there. So I need you to slow down and we'll speed up. So take a moment again and tell them your name, tell them where you're broadcasting in from, the name of your chapter. But after you tell them the name of your chapter, take about 90 seconds and give us a little of the backstory of the chapter. I know 90 seconds isn't fair, but give us a little bit of juicy stuff so folks that are listening understand why this chapter was written.
All right, Shay. My name is Alicia Connerly, and I am in JS, Mississippi, by way of Long Beach, California. And the name of my chapter is When I Learned to Trust the Refiner. And something about me, Shay, is that I am an educator, and I was writing down what you were saying, your three visions. And with that merged with my chapter because it goes back to manifestation. And with me, I had to be forged in the fire in order to that manifestation of trust to come forth. Because at birth, I had been let down in that area. And most people don't understand when you're let down that early, it's a ripple effect. So God had to burn, he had to hammer, he had to purge, he had to tear down everything that had been built up in order for me to learn to trust him in order to be able to trust others.
What do you say to the person listening right now that says they feel you? They're smelling what you're cooking in the kitchen right now. They're there with you, and they're wondering as you're talking. That says, "Wow, I'm struggling with trust. How does she be able to regain that trust? I mean, what was one thing that happened? What was a lesson that she learned? Because I've got to trust again, and that's a big challenge for me. What would you say to that male or that female that's watching right now that's asking themselves that question?
I would say that nobody can save you. No human can save you when there is a work that God wants to do, because God would not allow anybody to come into the fire and pull me out. I had to stay there. I had to stay there because in the fire is where I got my deliverance. And when God wants to deliver you from something, your mama can't pull you out, your daddy, your spouse, your children. So with me, staying in the fire is what was required of me.
Staying in the fire was required. I'm wondering, as you're talking over there, what's going through the mind of Queen as she's listening to you talk about you've got to regain trust. You've got to step back in there. You've got to get back in the game. Queen, take a moment for those folks that are watching out there. Kim is out there watching. Robin's out there watching. Carol's out there watching. So many folks out there watching. Y'all are bringing out the all-stars. They're wondering what's going through her mind. What is Queen thinking like right now?
Yes, right now I'm just thinking what Alicia is saying about trust. And every time I think about trust, I think about that tactic or the method that you use and you fall back. And like Alicia said, when you have to really trust the Lord, nobody can catch you. And when you said that, Alicia, I felt that. When you said not even your mama, I mean, and we know what happened this summer with George Floyd when he called out to his mother. And so that just makes me know and really lean in and say, you know what? I got to trust the Lord. And your chapter, I can't wait to read it, Alicia. I mean, it sounds amazing. So that trust factor, I feel you on that.
Yeah. Alicia, you've been very vulnerable and you've kind of shared already some really cool stuff. Take a moment, if you would, for the person that's listening and they're saying, wow, how does she do it all? Like, they have so many priorities. They're trying to balance being a mom or balance being a dad. They're trying to balance career. They're trying to balance being an entrepreneur. They're trying to balance working on special projects. They're trying to balance working in their life. What would you say to someone who has a lot of priorities going and they've got to start trusting themselves to be able to do the things they need to get done? What would your suggestion be to that person?
Breathe. Because if you don't inhale and exhale, there is nothing you will be able to complete. So you sit back, you allow God to breathe in through. Every now and then, Shay, I have to catch a second wind from God. And when he blows that east wind my way, it's something about breathe.
Yes.
So all of us out there, all folks that are out there watching right now, she said the magic word breathe, and we're all going to breathe. And before we all breathe, I want you to hit the share button. I want you to pay this message forward. One of the things that we believe is in a giver's economy, and that is the person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person that outgives the competition out-earns competition. So hit the share button, like take those two thumbs that you have. If you're watching on your phone, just hit the share button. Hit the share button. You got to push the button and pay this message forward. And when you hit the button, just write in that little box that pops up. Just write "Forged by Fire, Built God Tough." Just put that in there and then hit the share button, and you'll bless someone else. Okay, so let's all breathe because don't worry. In a moment, we're gonna have the next person coming up. Don't worry, Kelvin. We got a show. I can't wait to come up with Sharwanika Pittman will be coming up in a moment. But first, let's all breathe. So everyone. You at home, I don't know if we're going to do this, but it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to all breathe. We're going to breathe in and out. So in, out. They're closing their eyes. That's good. Breathe in. I've always wanted to do this. Out. See, we're all breathing. She said, just breathe. This is your moment. This is your time. And you are built, God, what?
Tough.
Tough. That's right. They showed up for that. All right. Now let's go over to Sharwanika. We're out here listening. Folks want to know, okay, Shay, what's her full name? Where's she broadcasting in from? And what's the name of her chapter? And then give us about 90 seconds. I mean, give us a little bit of the backstory, the narrative that brought you to really sharing this chapter. And before you do that, I want you to hold that. Before you do that, I want to ask just one more question of Alicia, just one more question. And that is, Alicia, you had a choice. You didn't have to be in this book. You could have spent your time doing something else, but you paused and said, my story has to be in this book. Question number one is, why did you decide to be in this anthology when you didn't have to do it? You had choices. And number two, what has your experience been like? We want to know your experience been like working with the team with Ketrice.
Okay. Well, I'm a lot like Ketrice. God had sent a prophet my way. Then my husband came and confirmed it. But what was said to me in my spirit was that if I do not release this year, and there was a time limit given on mine, there was a time limit of I have until December 31st to release this particular part of my story. Because if I don't, someone who needs it will die. Not die of spirit, not die of heart, but die, never to come back. And God was going to reveal to me that person if I allowed that to happen to them. So that's why it was imperative, because that's one thing about people of God. We don't want people to die on our watch. We don't want that blood on our hands, because that is something that is hard to come back from if we come back from it. And I want to be honest with you, Shay. I'm glad you put on there, how has it been with this team with working on this book? Because if you would have left it as to how has it been, if you could only peek into, we have to encourage each other, because we started catching it when we said yes. We started catching it in our bodies. We started catching it in our homes. We started catching it in our jobs. And I don't mean catching it in a good way. Things began to get tough and rough. That's when we knew that when we signed up, it was of God. Because that's one thing about it. The enemy peeks into your future just like God holds the future. So when the enemy peeked in and saw what this book is going to do, he started trying to hammer away at us and wanted us to quit. But our visionary said, no, she check in on us. You're doing this, you're doing that. So this group has been an encouragement to each and every one of us. I mean, we have people who in this book who are from overseas. You don't get that every day. So we got intercessors. We got we laborers and servants of God. So this group has been something that I know all of us has needed. We had to shift from one group to this one. And right now the shift is what's keeping us together.
Powerful. Thanks so much for sharing. And Ketrice, as you're listening over there, take a moment, if you would, and share why this chapter was approved by the committee, why this chapter is part of the anthology. Take a minute and talk to us about that, please.
Shay, if it's one thing that we have to have with the refiner, is absolute trust. With no trust, there is nowhere we can go. There's nothing we can do if we do not trust the master refiner. To build us, to tear us down, to clean us up, we have to trust him. There's no way we can get around it. We can't just talk it and say, well, I trust God. No, he's going to put you in the fire. He's going to do some things. He's going to bring some trouble, some trials and tribulations your way that's going to make you really, really know if you trust him. You have to have trust. So that is why that chapter was so imperative to be in this book. Because you cannot have a firm foundation without trust in the master refiner. You got to trust the process. You got to trust his process. And you got to know that everything he's doing for you is for your good. And he has an expected end for each and every one of us. And we got to really trust the word of God. It's got to be on the inside.
It's got to be on the inside. You heard it from the visionary herself, the one and only Ketrice. She showed up, and all these ladies, they showed up. And it's an honor and a privilege to be like behind the scenes to have this sneak preview. I'm so excited to have them here. This is like so much fun, and it's cool, and it will change your life. That's what this is all about. Yeah, we want you to be excited, but it's time for you to be forged by the fire and build God. What?
God. Tough.
That's right. Build God tough. That's right. All right. Shawanika, we didn't forget you over there. The audience is asking. They're like, don't forget Shay. We want to know her name. We want to know where she's broadcasting in. Yeah, we want to know her chapter too. All right, well, it's showtime. Talk to us. Give us 90 seconds, please.
Hey, Shay. My name is Shawanika Pittman. I am currently living in Hammond, Louisiana by way of Tylertown, Mississippi. And the title of my section or chapter is The Fire Made Me Fertile. And the reason why I chose that is because a couple of years ago, around about 2013, I was diagnosed with ovarian and uterine cancer. And at that particular time, I had a vision for my own life. We always have visions for ourselves and how we feel like our life should be. And of course, I always wanted to be able to have children. That was my thing. And what woman wouldn't? You want to have kids and you want to instill in your kids all the values, all the morals, all the things you can do with them. But that was kind of taken away from me. And it was okay after time, but in the beginning, it wasn't okay. And some people feel like they can't be real truthful and say, I was mad at God. Yes, I was mad at him. I didn't want to have nothing to do with him. He sent people that said, well, let me pray with you because God can heal you. And I was like, what do we got to heal me for? I mean, he gave me this, and now you want to turn around and heal me? Who does that? So I was really in a bad way. But when I learned how to really trust him, like Alicia said, all that didn't matter. I went back to the doctor and I told him, whatever you feel like you need to do to make me whole, whatever it is you want to do, you go ahead and do that, because I know God has greater for me. But it didn't come easy. It wasn't easy, and it still hadn't been easy, but it's better. I can really sit and think about, we just had Mother's Day. 7 years ago, I cried every Mother's Day. I didn't want to celebrate it. I didn't want to hear nothing about it, because I knew it wasn't going to be a child coming to me to say, Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I wasn't going to ever hear that. But this year, for the first time, I woke up, I put a smile on my face, and I put myself together, and I said, you know what, God, we're going to do this. And I mean, I felt it was at peace. I had no time for that. So the forging was for me through the fire. And I'm telling you, oh yeah, it helped me to be built God tough.
Built God tough, so authentic. Thank you for sharing and being open and exposing that. And Alicia, I know we were just talking to you a second ago, but I'd like for you to jump in. And as you hear this message, as you hear this story, and for everyone that's out there that's saying, wow, I get that. I've been through something and I'm feeling her right now. What's going through your mind as you hear her message and her story?
Baby, she's the mother of nations.
What you say?
She is the mother of nations. And that is a prophetic word. She will go further than us that have birthed children will go, because her word is a mother of nations. Oh, you might better move, Shay, because I feel the fire of God. And one thing, when the prophetic gets on me, that's a whole nother thing. That's a mother of nations, and I'm going to leave it alone.
A mother of nature. I love that. I love that. Powerful. For those folks that are watching out there, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Look right below the video. Look right below the video. Maybe this is for you, but maybe it's for someone that you know, another single mom or single dad, or someone that's out there that's married. There's someone out there saying, yes, this is my time. This is my year. I'm ready, and I need to be built. God, what?
Tough.
Built God tough. This is your moment. All right, take a moment, Sharwanika, as we come back over to you, and please share with us why this anthology. You could have written your own book. You could have participated in another anthology. You could have done a lot of different things, but you said, no, I'm gonna slow down. And when you had an opportunity to get into this, when you said, yes, I'm going to do it, I'm going to spend my time and my energy, and I'm going to share my message in this anthology, Forged by Fire, Built God what?
Tough.
Tough. Talk to us. Why this chapter? Why this book?
This book, because my lane is usually singing. That's what I do. That's my thing. And I really have always struggled with speaking in front of people, so I chose not to. And so my sister, which is Ketrice, of course, I saw it on her timeline one day, and I was like, what is really going on here? What are you doing? And she told me about what she was doing, and she was like, well, you need to be a part of this. And I was like, me? Be a part of this book? But I could not say no, because I've second guessed myself so much. And some people will say, well, she sings and she does this and her self-esteem should be here, but it wasn't. It was that pretty picture that I painted, and I dressed it all up, and it looked like it was real good, but I was really struggling with self-esteem. But I had to learn how to get out of that. And by being a part of this book, it has helped me tremendously. So that's why I'm grateful that I said yes, because God is still yet forging me today.
Yes, God.
For sure. Thank you so much. Ketrice, what's going through your mind? Why this chapter? And more importantly, why Sharwanika? Why is she in this particular book?
Well, Shay, just like she said, this is my biological sister, and I have watched her since birth go through so much. And if anybody has been forged, this young lady has been forged. And I'm not just saying it because she's my sister. This young lady was born dead. She was born dead. I'm telling you, the enemy has tried to snuff her out since she came into the world. So she is the epitome of being forged by fire and built God tough. Another reason why she had to be in this book is because God had to mend our relationship. Because there was a time in our life where we had went our separate ways. I didn't talk to her, and she didn't talk to me. It was like I didn't care what she did. She didn't care what I did. But through this book, through me saying yes to God, our relationship has been not transformed. I'm talking about it's been renewed. There is a new relationship that God has forged just by me saying yes to this book. Not only that, this young lady is her title, her chapter says, "The fire made me fertile." A woman going through being barren and not being able to have children, that's about the lowest that a woman can go when she can't be a mother. But when Alicia says that she's a mother of nations, she is a mother of nations. She comes in contact with children on a daily basis that has no mother. So she's mothering kids that don't, she's got more kids and will have more kids than we who are fertile will ever have. So the fire has made her fertile. She's birthing some stuff that none of us could ever imagine. And God is just starting. He's just starting the process. And when he is done, my God. So that's why she had to be in this book. He had to mend our relationship. He had to prove to her that she is who he said she is. And she is going to birth forth many nations. So yeah, there's no way she couldn't have been in this book. She tried to back out of it. She didn't tell you that part, but I told her, no, baby, you're going to do this. You doing this. The time is now.
The time is now. Now is your time. When they say what time it is, they say it's 9 o'clock time. And it is now is your time. For those folks that are out there watching, you're listening to the authors. There's a preview of some of the authors of the anthology, Forged by Fire, Built God what?
Tough.
Built God tough. They can say it better than I can on any given day. So as you're watching right there, do me a favor. If you haven't hit the share button, don't worry. We still got some more. The best is still yet to come. We still got more. We're just getting going. You hit the share button. You might be saying, Shay, why do I need to do that? Because you can bless someone else right now. You can encourage someone else right now and pay this message forward. They've got a mission, and that is to change as many lives as possible through with their story of what they've been through. Hit the share button, hit the watch party button. Don't worry, there's no Cash App payment needed tonight. Ain't no Zelle payment needed. You can just do this, and all it takes is a little bit of effort. Click, 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 and someone else gets the benefit for the rest of their life. So thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Okay, now we're going over to the one and only Ketrice. She's been sitting down, getting ready. She's like, I know what you're going to ask me, Shay. I already know. What's my name? Yes. Where am I broadcasting it from? Yes. And more importantly, what's the name of my chapter? And I got my 90 seconds. I'm ready to share at least what my chapter is about, why I wrote it, and why it's important to you. So, Ketrice, thanks for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're going to turn it over to you. Tell me your name. Talk to us.
My name is Ketrice Caraway. I am from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The title of my chapter is Through Sickness and Health. I chose this chapter because for me, marriage just seemed like the getting on your pretty dress and just going to the altar. I wasn't prepared to be a wife. My husband wasn't prepared to be a husband. And so through this process, I've learned to trust God, and you cannot do marriage without God. You cannot follow any of those vows without putting God in it. And I'll be honest to say that when we started out our marriage, we did not have him. And as we kept growing in Christ, things started to happen when we gave him a yes. And I was scratching my head, and I was like, Shawanika, I'm like kind of angry, like I've been dealt a bad deal. And I'm like, Lord, what is this? Now he's the breadwinner. Now he's the leader of our house. And I'm trusting him like you said to trust him. But and when a man gets down, that's something different because he's not verbally expressing these things. And God is having to show it to me. And I'm having to be strong for him and my household. But then the weight gets on my shoulders, and I don't want him to feel like a weight. So I break. And doing the breaking process is me learning to trust God, and God just having to use the woman of God, Ketrice, to tell me to gird up my loins years ago. And that word came back to me, gird up your loins, trust me. And I'm like, God, I'm trusting you. But he said, no, you're not trusting me. And so he taught me how to trust him while I was married, while I'm married, and while my husband was ill I leaned to him for directions, and I used the wisdom of other believers, and I put aside pride, and I had to get on my face, and I had to call people up, because this was not easy. It was not like that wedding day. It was totally different for me.
Wow, you had to make that happen. I'm wondering. I know we were just talking to you, Sharwanika, but as you're listening to one of your fellow co-authors over there express very truthfully and painfully what she was going through, I'm wondering, what say you? What's on your mind right now? What are you hearing?
Well, see, that's something about trust. A lot of times we'll say, Lord, I trust you. I will trust in the Lord. That's the quickest thing we'll really say. But do we really trust him? Like when the times are getting hard and the weight is really on your shoulders, do you really trust him, or do you take your burdens to the altar and you leave them there, but you pick them right back up because he's not answering as fast as you want him to answer? No, I get it. You really have to learn how to say, God, I trust you. I don't know how you gonna figure this out, but I know you gonna do it. I don't know when you gonna do it. I don't know how you gonna do it, but I know you gonna do it. And even if you don't fix it when I want you to fix it, I still know you're able to fix it. So I really do believe that even though sometimes we might think we gonna have this pretty dress, that everything is gonna be beautiful, that's where Satan always comes in, because he always trying to mess with family. But here, I'm here to tell you, all you got to do is put your trust for real in Jesus, and you will never fail. You will never go wrong if you just completely trust him.
Thank you so much for sharing. Talise, I've asked the same question, and I think it's a reasonable question at a reasonable time to ask you as well, which is, why this anthology? What was the burning desire for you to be in this anthology, hoping your chapter would be accepted by the committee, and hoping you would make it through the process where your chapter is in print in the book that will help folks all over the world for generations to come, long after you're no longer here. So I guess the question is, why this anthology? Why now? And what has your experience been like working with Ketrice's team?
Okay, well, I'll start with the why. 2 months during the process of caring for my husband, the Lord told me to start writing. I need you to start writing the process. So he was preparing me for it. So when I saw Ketrice's post, it just hit me like, you're supposed to be in this. You're supposed to be in this anthology. And my hopes for getting in it is to encourage another woman or male, just for them to really lean on God and to look towards the hill from which come their help, and to know all their help comes from the Lord, and to see that I made it through. I reflect back at a moment. Sister Keecher had told me about she imagined herself being a firefighter, and that there's these people in the fire and God uses her to snatch them out. And at the same moment when I saw her post, I saw that firefighter again, and she snatched us out. God used her to snatch us out, to tell our story. And during this process, yes, a lot of us are still being forged. So many things has happened, so much spiritual warfare. But that going through the storm that I just came out of have given me the faith to stay grounded, and to know that the race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to those who endure to the end. So I have an endurance power that comes only from the Lord. So that's the reason why I'm in it. I want somebody else to come out. I want somebody else to know that you're not going crazy. You're not going to lose your mind. Just call on the Lord, and he will bring you through.
One of the things you're all hearing from everyone is they're coming from the heart, and they're saying they're doing this to serve others. It's about serve plus add value. Serve plus add value. All right, Ketrice, this is another one of these chapters has been approved by your committee, and we want to know why this chapter. You could have selected a lot of chapters being there, but this is one of the ones that's made the cut. We want to hear from you. What say you?
Ooh, Shay, you know what? After she just said what she said, I had forgot about that firefighter thing. And when she said that just took me somewhere, to least. You know, I she got me at a loss of words over here, Shay. But her chapter had to be in this book, because So many times marriage has this white picket fence and the kids running in the yard and the animals in the yard and the husband and the wife just sitting in the sunset, and it's just so romantic. That's the image that we've been painted ever since we were children. But when you really get down to the wire of it, marriage is work. Marriage is ministry. And sometimes it gets real grungy, and sometimes it gets real dirty, but we don't see those images. This chapter had to be in the book to let people know that when you take a vow, when you take those vows through sickness and health and for rich, for poor, all of that, it's more than words. It's more than words. But society has painted it like, it's just, oh, these are just words that everybody says. But you're taking a vow before God. You're taking those vows before God, and God is honoring those vows, and he's expecting you to honor those vows. And so when times get rough and times get hard, it's easy. It's real easy to wimp out. It's real easy to punk out and say, you know what? I'm out of here. I didn't expect for you to get sick. I didn't expect for you to lose your job. This wasn't all in the plan. This ain't what I saw on TV. And it's real easy to wimp out. But it takes a real soldier. It takes a real warrior to be able to say, you know what? I am weak, but a God in you, I'm strong. And I'm going to pull my strength from you, and I'm going to honor these vows, and we're going to get through this thing. Society has made us think that divorce is the option, that it's okay to get a divorce. Just because it's there does not mean it's okay. Everybody ain't supposed to get a divorce. And a lot of people who've been divorced, their marriages could have been saved if they had somebody in their life to really minister to them. If they had somebody in their life to really show them God and let them see that, baby, you can get through this. Y'all can get through this. This ain't the worst thing that's going to happen. So this is why that chapter had to be in the book. So married people can see that, yeah, we're going to have problems. Things are going to arise. But greater is he that is in us than he that's in the world. And we coming out of this. So that's why her chapter had to be in the book.
Said so well. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad the chapter's in the book. Thank you for sharing your message. All of you that are watching, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. All of you hit the share button. We appreciate you. You're listening and hearing the message and the stories from the authors of the book, Forged by Fire, Built God what?
Tough.
Built God Tough. They said it's all about being built God tough, and that's you. And if you're out there right now, you're like, yeah, Shay, that's me. I'm built God tough. I've been forged by the fire. I'm going through the fire. Just give a thumbs up. Just look below the comments. Just hit the number 2. Hit the number 2. Hit the number 2. The number 2 is just a bat signal. I would have said number 1. Why did I say number 2? I don't know. But hit the number 2. Hit the number 2 right below the video. That's a bat signal that you've been forged by the fire and you are built God tough. Now, if you're not a Christian, it's okay. You can tune in. Maybe you're going to feel the fire. Okay. That's a topic for another time. That's not the message right now because I don't want to get them started. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to get them started. I'm finding out myself. We all hanging out. This is what this is about. All right. So now we're going over to the one and only Queen, and she'll tell you her name and then her pseudonym, I think it was, and where she's broadcasting in from, and more importantly, the name of her chapter. She's been waiting. She's been saying, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Someone tag me over here. I didn't get to have any comments. Don't worry. It's your time. So I'm going to turn it over to you. We've been waiting. For everyone that's out there, y'all all lean in. Y'all all lean in that's watching because you don't want to miss this. Oh, she said, bring it, Shay, bring it. All right, well, talk to the people. Over to you. We want to know your name of your chapter, and a little bit about the backstory of the chapter that you got to share. Over to you, Queen. Thanks for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Yes, absolutely. This has just been a great conversation. I'm just grateful to be a part of it. My name is Deborah Cole, but I'm known in these Dallas, Texas streets as Queen Cole, your girl around the city, Queen Cole. But the name of my chapter is Ring of Fire. And if you're thinking like, what kind of ring? Ring around the tub? No, I'm talking about wedding ring. Ring of Fire. So a little bit about my chapter is that the Ring of Fire, the wedding ring, had me doing and saying things that I was not of God. And so I had to be forged by fire by going through several different tests throughout my marriage. And this chapter is a reflection of a point in my marriage where I decided to burn everything down and walk through the fire and move on. So it was a very hard chapter to write. I'm thankful to be a part of the chapter, the anthology, because I had put on my vision board several years, like, oh, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. This year, my vision board again, I got on there, book. And so then I see Lady Keys here in the Pod Squad, a message saying, hey, and this has nothing to do with books. This is a podcasters group. I'm a podcaster. And I'm like, what is this? Let me get more information. And so I get more information because I want to write a book. But then she came back. Ketrice, when I say she came back like fire, she came back all the information I need. I'm like, whoa, I don't know. I got questions all of a sudden. I never written a book. I never been in anthology, but now I got all these questions. The Lord was like, whoa, you wanted to write a book. You want to be a part of the book. Here's your opportunity. Why all these questions? So then I said, you know what? Lord, you're right. I had to surrender myself. I had to be obedient and follow along suit. And it's been an amazing experience. I mean, just our Zoom calls alone are our ministry. So I'm just thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to be a part of the anthology.
And what would you say to the persons out there right now that's saying, you know what, there's a lot of fear that I have as well. There's some things that I'm fearful for taking action on. There's some things that I'm not sure if I should go after the promotion at the office. I'm not sure if I should step out into the entrepreneur world. Heck, I'm definitely not sure if I should write a book. Oh my gosh, or a chapter. And they've got some fear right now, something that's holding them back right now. What message do you have for that little girl, that big girl, or that big boy or little boy that's out there right now? And they're like, I'm not even sure if I'm even good enough right now. What would Queen say to me? Shay, ask her. Well, I just asked, so let's find out what she got to say.
Yeah, I would just say walk through the fire, because if you think about the Hebrew boys, when they were in the fire, the Lord was with them. And when they came out, it was nothing to it. So yes, you're going to feel the fire. You're going to be forged. You're going to be refined. But once you're finished with it, you're going to come out as pure gold. You're not even going to smell like smoke. So what I say to the person that has that fear is to step into that fire, go through that fire, and then keep going. Because once you get in there, you're going to have people like Lady Keys that's going to be pulling you along. You're going to be wanting to stay in there. You're going to be stuck. You're going to be like, oh, you're going to start getting comfortable with the heat turned up. And then you're going to be like, having that person like, nah, come on. We got deadlines to meet. You got this to meet. Oh, you turning this in? That's not really what it need to be. It need to be like this. And so we had the visionary here with us step by step. And it made the process a blessing. So what I say to that person is, step in that fire, keep going, because when you come out, you're going to be so grateful that you did. And then while you're in that fire, you're going to have people that are going to be bringing you along. The Lord is going to have those rams in the bush to say, you know what? I got you. And so at no point I felt lost, confused, anything. Everything was clear, concise, and on point.
At the end of the day, you are forged by fire and built by what?
Built God tough.
Built God tough.
They're like, Shay, we got this. We are built God tough. That's what's going to happen at the end of the day. And I love it. I love the energy. And how these ladies are today is how they are every day. I mean, you know, this is them. They're forged by the fire. They're built God tough. And they're standing on. You ever heard them waver one time? They just jump in. Built God tough. Tough. I gotta ask, Ketrice later why she put the tough at the end. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But that's not about her now. It's not about her. It's all about the authors that are here. So, Ketrice, if you would take a moment, and you've shared as the visionary why some of the other chapters in there. So you gotta help close this segment out and talk about why this chapter and why now.
Well, Shay, Queen's chapter is actually when I got it and I read, I was like, because I saw the title like Ring of Fire. What in the world? But when I read it, I was like, wow. Now this has to be in the book because There are some marriages, there are some relationships, there are not in business deals and a lot of other stuff that we get in that God didn't say we were supposed to be in. We want to hold on to some stuff that God really want to deliver us from. God wants us to live a life of peace. Some things we get tangled up in, it's not peaceful. We running for our lives. We looking over our shoulder, and that ain't how God wanted to be. But as I say that, when you go through the ring of fire, and just like she said, when you come out, you don't smell like smoke. You don't look like what you've been through. I'm talking about great deliverance in the story. And so her chapter had to be in the book to let somebody else know, male or female, that just because you in this, don't mean God ordained for you to stay in this. And when you come out of this, he graces you for your future. He puts people in your path, and he puts you where you need to be, not looking like what you've been through. People look at you like, you went through that? For real? That's God's grace on your life. He graced you to come out of that and to let somebody else know, you know what? She may be in that situation right now, or he may be in that situation right now. But I have a testimony to say that I came out of that, and the same God that brought me out of that brought me out of the ring of fire, that brought me through all of that, can do the same thing for you. So her chapter had to be in here to give somebody else hope for a future.
Hope for a future. Isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? Not only to bring you hope, but to bring you step by step a process that you can use to take your life, take your business, take your relationship, take your finances, take your health, take your kids, take your community to a whole nother level so they all can be forged by what? Fire. But built God what?
God tough.
Build God. I love when they say build God tough because they mean it. You can hear it in their voice. They mean every word of that. For those folks that are out there right now, do me a favor. If you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. Like, hit the watch party button. Like, pay this message forward on social media. If you're not watching live and you're listening to the podcast right now, or you're on Apple TV or Roku, you're tuned in. Tell someone about the episode because this will help someone now. There's no technology needed right now. You can just listen and apply what they're sharing to you. We're moving to a segment now called Today is My January 1st. And today is my January 1st. It's one of our core beliefs. It's one of our core methodologies. And for those folks that know what I'm about to do, you can look right below the video, and you can write those words. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. And the other folks that are wondering, what in the LL Cool J is Shay even talking about right now? What is he even talking about? Well, today is my January 1st represents not December 31st. We don't wait for a date on the calendar. We create a January 1st moment anytime we make a decision. And there's probably 1,000 decisions you make throughout the day. And any one of those decisions could change the trajectory of your life. That's a January 1st moment. You make a decision that you're going to work out. Remember that New Year's resolution? That's a January 1st moment. Or you eat hamburgers or French fries or salt, pepper, ketchup. I don't know what it is. You don't do that. Or you're going to go to the refrigerator and open it up. And inside there's some kale. January 1st moment. Broccoli. January 1st moment. It's a fresh start. It's a do-over. It's your past no longer equals your future. That's a January 1st moment. So my question to you is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes to your mind? Let's go the way we started. Let's start over with Alicia over there. She said, nah, Shay, we're going to go around. We just want to know, when you hear those words, what goes to your mind? Don't worry. She's never at a loss for words. I just met her, but I know she ain't at a loss for words. I can feel it. Y'all feeling it too, because she's forged by fire and built God what?
Tough.
She ready for this. She showed up ready for this. All right, take it away.
When I hear those words, a renewed manifestation, a rejuvenated manifestation, a rebuilt manifestation, a forged manifestation, a fire of the manifestation of God. So whatever is in store for each and every one of us, I'm just saying that all of our January 1st, because of the shift that we have experienced and are experiencing, our January 1st is going to last a long time because it's a manifestation time.
Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. Okay, we're going to go over to the next person. I believe the next person we had was the one and only Shawanika. I'm saying it slow, but Shawanika. Take a moment and tells me, hear those words. Today is my January 1st. Well, what goes through your
When
mind?
I hear those words, today is my January 1st, I think that today is my January 1st, and today is the day that I will no longer let the enemy hold my mind captive of the things that I can't do. My mind has now been changed to what I can do. So from January 1st until forever, it will always be I can do all things through Christ who
Yes.
strengthens me.
Yes. Yes.
Boom! Am I allowed to drop the mic? I mean, I know this is a very serious conversation, but I love it. Thanks so much for sharing. Today, indeed, is your January 1st. All right, Talise, we're coming over to you right now. Those words, today, not tomorrow, but today is my January 1st. And all you out there right now, look right below the video, and write those words. That's a bat signal. You're encouraging someone else that today is your January 1st. It's a fresh start. Over to you. What do you say?
Today is my January 1st. Fear will no longer bound me. I am leaping forward into everything God got for me. God did not give me the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And I'm running with it. This is my year. This is my family year.
Oh, I like that. This is my family year. It's the first time I ever heard that. I like that. She didn't say this is my year. She said this is my family. It's a family affair. Can I play that music? It's a family affair. No, but I'm all seriousness. I love it. Thanks so much for sharing. I can hear it. Thank you so much. All right, we're going over to you, Queen. You know the question I've been asking everyone right now. Today is my January 1st. What do you hear? What's going through your mind? And if you're talking, you're looking good. We can't hear you. But don't worry, you're looking good.
When I hear that January 1st, today is my January 1st, I think about being reignited. Being in this anthology, built, got tough, like we had to go through the fire. So we had to reignite some things. We had to look at some things in our past that has happened to us and get those lessons. And now we're taking these lessons and we're moving on. So when I hear today is my January 1st, I think about reigniting those things that we had in the past that thought they took us out, but we're moving forward with them. I think about reigniting.
Woo! Reigniting, moving forward, taking it forward. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to slow down and then we're going to speed up because we're going to go over to the one and only, the visionary. She's brought this all together. She's brought this whole anthology together. And before we'll go back, we're going to ask her why. Some of you are just tuning in. You're like, Shay, what is even going on? I'm hearing this Forged by Fire. I'm hearing this Built God Tough. I just joined in when I heard Forged by Fire. But Shay, I jumped in with 2 feet when I heard Built God Tough. And so I'm all in. But what was the visionary's vision for this book? What was the mission of this book? Well, we're going to go over now and ask Ketrice if she'll take a moment and kind of, for folks that are just tuning in and hearing it, kind of bring us back home for a moment. And here's the question. What's the mission, goals, and objectives of this anthology? Take a moment and talk to us. And when she finishes that, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. I'll go back around and ask them all, how can you best connect with them? How can you stay in the conversation? Don't worry. I'll do that. And then they got their closing comments. You don't want to miss that. The best is still yet to come because they're going to encourage you and empower you and inspire you. They've got some comments for you. Don't worry. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Hit the share button if you haven't did it. Hit the share button if you haven't done it. Hit it now and write those words, serve plus add value. And they're all serving. They brought their A game. They only had one game anyway. The Built God what? I love that. That is so cool. Man, I can't wait to be with him one day at an event. I can't wait to hear him just say that. Built God tough. Can I get a shirt that says that, Forged by Fire? Do you have guys shirts like that yet? Anyway, that's a topic for another time. That's the sales lens coming out. All right, over to you, Ketrice, over to you. What's the mission, goals, and objectives? I've kind of lost my mind, so let me come back to this.
The mission, goals, and objectives of this book is that somebody's flame will be rekindled for God, that somebody's life will be transformed, that somebody will know that just because you are in the fire, God has not left you. God is in the fire with you. Actually, he is the perpetrator of the fire. And he knows that the fire is not going to burn you up. Why does he know that? Because he's building you, God, tough. He knows that this fire is going to fortify you. So the mission of this book is to let people know that you will be fortified in the fire. You will be refined in the fire. You will be torn down. Bitterness will leave. Envy will be gone. Jealousy will be gone. Malice and anger will be gone. But when he empties you out in the fire, he replaces all of that with the fruit of the Spirit. He replaces all of that with long suffering, and he replaces it with meekness, and he replaces it with temperance, and he replaces it with love and joy. So that when we come out of the fire, he can see his reflection in us. He can see his image in us. Because the word tells us that we were shaped in his image. He made us and formed us in his image. And he always wants to be able to look at us and see his image. And the mission of this book is to let people know that just because you have fiery trials and tribulations, your Savior has not left you. He is making you to be the woman of God or the man of God that he has called you to be from the foundation of the world. You are not in this thing by yourself. You're not the only one that's going through troubles, trials, and tribulations. There are stories in this book to let you know that you are not alone and that God delivered them, and the same God that delivered them can deliver you as well. So just because you're in the fire and just because you feel like you may be by yourself, your Savior's right there with you. And he's turning the heat up on you so he can get all of that ugliness out of you, so that he can really see himself in you. And so he can present you to him as pure gold, unshakable, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And you are built God tough, meaning you won't bend. You won't bow. You're going to stand against the forces of the enemy, and you're going to take his camp down because you built God tough. God built you that way. And when God builds you, there ain't no devil in hell that can tear you down. That's the mission and the goal of this book, Shay.
I feel you. I'm smelling what you're cooking in the kitchen over there. I'm walking down your street. I mean, you laying it out and making it plain. Thank you so much for sharing. We'll take a minute, and I'll give each of these ladies at least 60 seconds to kind of share again their name, maybe what line of business they're in. Maybe that's a good question. And then how can folks best stay in the conversation with you? What's one way they can connect with you? And maybe you're on social media and folks are like, wow, how can I connect with you? And then we're going to ask Ketrice to come back and then talk about how you can connect with the book. Like, where do you go get on a wait list? I mean, how do you get in it? I mean, what's going on? So we'll come back to her in a moment. So let's just go reverse order. We'll go with Queen first, and then we'll go back around. I got 2 thumbs up. I got a lot of bosses today, ladies. I got a lot of bosses, ladies and gentlemen. They're out here giving me direction. I got a lot of producers up in the house, but because of them, I'm able to do this. You should have been in the green room. They helped me out a whole lot. I'm just telling you, seriously. So we're gonna go with you, Queen. Tell them your name again, and tell them what line of business are you in, and how can folks best connect with you?
Yes, you can connect with me on all social media platforms at Queen Cole. And I am a podcast host. I have my own podcast, Light the Path Podcast.
Thank you so much for sharing. And then we'll go over to you, Talise.
I am Talise Caraway, and I can be reached at talise@gmail.com. My line of business, a co-owner alongside my husband, is called A2GG, Adding to God's Gift. It's a platform that we use to help add gifts to children, young children and young adults, kind of like camps and things like that.
Oh, cool. Thank you for sharing. All right, Sharwanika.
You can reach me at Sharwanika Pittman on Facebook, and I'm a band director, choir director, fine arts director, you name it, that's what I am.
Thank you so much for sharing. And over to you. Take it away, Alicia.
You can reach me on Facebook at Alicia Connerly, and I am a pastor's wife, principal, multicultural and equity division director for NSTA. I wear many hats, but above all, I'm a servant of God and to his people. So you can reach me at Alicia Connolly on Facebook.
Thanks so much for sharing. And over to you, Ketrice. Take a moment and talk to us about how folks can connect, how they can, if they're interested, say, wow, where can I get the book? Is there a wait list? Like, what's the next step for folks? Like, I'm hearing it, Shay. I want it, Shay. Forged by Fire, built God what?
Tough.
Built God tough. How can they stay in the conversation? How can they connect and be a part of this wonderful tribe and family that's out there?
Well, to connect with me, you go to my website, ketriceskeys.com, and leave me a message, drop me a subscription, whatever you want to do there. That's ketriceskeys.com. And if you want to get a copy of the book, you can connect with any of these ladies. They've left you their information. They will have their books for sale, and you can connect with them. I'm not giving out my information for the book. You can connect with these ladies to get a copy of the book from each and every one of them. Okay? This is all about these ladies. So don't come to my website looking for the book. Reach out to these ladies so you can get the copy of the book from these ladies. It's dropping June 1st, 2021. It ain't long. June 1st, 2021, this book will be dropping, and we're going to need everybody that's watching to help us become bestsellers. So y'all be looking at Facebook and all your social media platforms on June 1st to help us become #1 bestsellers. Okay?
I'm excited. Tell me the name of the book again.
Forged by Fire, built God
Tough.
You know, I've always wanted to be a band director, by the way, so I'm trying to do like Shawanika. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job or not because I'm waving like this. And I'm supposed to be like, dun, tough, baby, tough. It's a tough cookie out here. It's a hard word. It's a tough cookie. For all those folks that are out there watching right now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. For everybody hit the share button, we appreciate it. We're going to go back around, and we're going to ask each of them to share their final thoughts. They'll take about 60 seconds. To share maybe a message to encourage you, to inspire you. Maybe as you leave here today, you're going to be forged by the fire. It's not if it's going to happen. It is either happening, it will happen, or it's going on very shortly for someone that you know right now. But we know that we know that we know that we know that you are built God what?
tough.
Tough. We know that. We don't know who you are. We might not have met you, but we do know you're built God tough. That we know for sure. So we'll start the way we started. We'll close the way we started. We'll go with Alicia. That's right. That's right. The principal is in the building right now. I'm joking. Mississippi showed up. Mississippi is in the building and all the rest of us. And thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It's an honor and a privilege. I appreciate being behind the scenes and getting this sneak preview, by the way. This is exclusive, so I'm super excited. But go ahead. Share your final thoughts and messages. Again, thanks for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
First of all, Shay, thank you for this opportunity. I would like to leave with the viewers and those of us who are on this line. Do not be afraid of the consuming fire, because in the consuming fire, there is our deliverance. There is our breakthrough. There is our forging. There is our rekindling and our reigniting. So don't be afraid of the consuming fire of God, because we need it for every impurity to be burned away. Because once we come through this, everyone, we will come out as pure gold.
Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate that. Over to you, Talise.
The Lord never promised that it would be easy, but he did say that he will be with us. And a lot of times we want to reign with Christ, but we must learn to suffer with him. But he is definitely with us, and he's going to bring you out the fire, like the lady said, and we will not look like it. We're going to be refined, and just trust the process.
Trust the process. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Shawanika?
I just want to say that, if God has given you a glimpse of something and it has not yet come to pass, remember that what you see, if what you see is not what you saw, then what you're seeing is only temporary.
Woo, all right now. Those mics just keep dropping out here. I told you, they got more. If they had more time, they give you more. They're just getting started. I mean, I'm telling you now, y'all just getting the tip of the iceberg, but I know we got a show. I get it, but just make sure you connect, because they're forged by fire. Built God what?
Tough.
Tough.
You know it. You heard it from them, not me. All right, over to you, Queen. What's your final thoughts, please?
Yes, my final thoughts are be obedient. If the Lord puts something on your heart and then the opportunity comes, take the opportunity. Do not be disobedient. Follow the process. When it gets tough, as it has for some of us during this process, being transparent with things, we had opposition come to us, but we kept going through the process. So one, keep going through the process, and then be obedient to the Lord and move on that thing. No more sitting on your gifts. It's time out for that. It's time to reignite all those things, those hopes and dreams and desires that you've had, and it's time to move forward on them.
Time to move forward. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. All right, Ketrice, if you would, please close us out. Again, thanks so much for allowing the Happy Entrepreneur Show to host this particular episode. It's been an honor, as I said earlier, and I've learned so much. I mean, everyone has a spirit to give. They have a heart to give, and they're sharing from the heart. And that means a lot. So thanks for allowing us to broadcast this particular episode. Can't wait till June 1st. And that date, depending on when you watch this, by the way, make sure you connect with one of these ladies and get the book. Forged by Fire, Built God what?
Tough.
That's right. Over to you to close us out, if you would, Ketrice.
Well, Shay, I am grateful for this platform. Thank you for allowing us to be here. If I have any last words to say to the ladies that are on this live with me, to the people that are watching, is to be obedient to the call of God on your life, to walk in the thing that he purposed you to walk in from the foundation of the world, to know that you are worthy, you are enough, and you are exactly who he said you are, and don't let the enemy tell you nothing different. Don't downplay the shine that he has given you. You walk in that God ordained purpose, and you shine, and you let his reflection be seen in this world, because that is why he left you here. You don't let anybody or anything stop you from doing what God has called you to do. Obey the call that God has on your life. If I can say anything else, I say it again. Obey the call that God has on your life, because somebody else's survival is contingent upon you obeying the call that God has on your life.
Wow. Thanks a lot for sharing. Thank all of you who are watching. For everyone that's out there right now, if you haven't hit the watch party button or hit the share button, hit it now. Hit it now. Hit it now. There's still time to do that. We appreciate you watching, every single one of you. You're all champions. You're all winners. And I want you to know, for you, today is your January 1st. You can be forged by fire. Today is your January 1st. You're built God what? Tough. And for every single one of you, if you're out there right now, I want you to know it's time for you to put your sunglasses on. The future is bright. And for you, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is still yet to come. With that being said, my name, for anybody that cares, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this: time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. So you got to live in that moment, and you got to make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Talk to y'all later. Keep doing God's works, lady. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. We got a show. Peace. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they say yeah, and they say yeah. Cause all I do is win. You doing it, but
Thank you. God bless you.